Before words had weight and names had meaning, one was whispered that bent the world around it. It was not meant to be spoken. It was carved in dirt, drowned in mud, and buried beneath memory. But nothing buried stays buried forever. Especially not a name. The tribe had moved east, toward a flat land where no echo returned. They found ancient stones there. Smooth. Tall. Marked with symbols none remembered. Still, the game was plenty, the rivers clean. They stayed. Then one day, a man appeared. He was not from any tribe. He spoke no tongue. His feet made no sound on the earth. They called him Lo, meaning silent. And they let him stay. Children played near the stone circle, jumping from slab to slab. One found something buried beneath the soil, a flat black rock with deep carvings. It pulsed with heat. It hummed when touched. Lo stared at it for hours. No one noticed at first. Until one child spoke a strange word after touching it. And began to bleed from the eyes. They buried the rock again. Deep. But the word had already spread, repeated in dreams, heard in wind, mimicked by birds. And Lo began to speak. Only that word. Over and over. No one knew its meaning. But they all began to forget their own names. One morning, half the tribe couldn't remember who they were. Not just their names, but their place, their kin, their voice. They stared at the fire, lips moving without sound. When they looked at Lo, they smiled. As if he had always been their leader. Sha, one of the few still untouched, explored the outskirts. She screamed into the flat lands. Nothing returned. No echo. No air disturbance. Just silence. There she found more stones, each carved with the same word. The same buried name. The same one Lo now whispered to the trees. The afflicted began to change. Their eyes darkened. Their skin paled. Their feet no longer disturbed dust. They no longer slept. At night, they gathered around the old stone and chanted the name in unison. It sounded like thunder breaking through ice. Sha began to bleed from her ears. In her dreams, Sha saw the past. A figure, tall and broken, carving its name into stone. Each time it carved, someone forgot who they were. Until it stood alone in a silent world. Then, it buried its own name to end its curse. But now, Lo had dug it back up. Sha tried to flee. But the land changed behind her. Paths turned to stone. Trees whispered lies. She slept near the river, and woke up with stone growing from her arms. The curse was spreading. She had days left. Maybe. Unless she could rebury the name. At dawn, she returned to the ancient ring. Armed with fire, she smashed the black stone. It screamed. The ground cracked. Lo convulsed and dissolved into dust. The name echoed once more, then vanished. Silence returned. Those who were marked returned to themselves. But none remembered their old names. Not even Sha. The word was gone, buried again. But something darker remained. The knowledge that names can destroy. And some are never meant to be known. In far lands, travelers speak of finding black stones. Of words that hum in the wind. And of strangers who arrive without sound. They say the curse was broken. But others know. A name, once spoken, can always be heard again.